Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome to another episode of Jash Reads. We're getting off to a good start here. And tonight we're going to be continuing Animorphs number 3, The Encounter by K.A. Applegate. Nice, happy book. Jake had a peregrine falcon morph we'd used before. Marco and Cassie had morphed ospreys. Rachel had been a bald eagle. So we all should have been able to fly up to the mountains. But there are millions of bird watchers in this country. They're very cool people because they never hurt a bird. They don't hunt. They just get pleasure out of watching birds fly or nest. Bird watchers would think it was very, very weird if they saw a red-tailed hawk, bald eagle, a falcon, and two ospreys all flying together as if they were on a mission. And some of those gentle bird watchers might be not so gentle controllers. Bird watchers? Marco snorted as he tramped over the carpet of pine needles deeper into the woods. We could fly, but no, we have to walk. 20 miles probably. Cassie's farm has a lot of open grass areas and it borders on national forest. The national forest goes on forever. It stretches from the edge of town all the way up into the mountains. It's all pines and oaks and elms and birches. Wilderness, really. Thousands of square acres of it. Oh, come on, Marco, Cassie chided gently. It's an opportunity to try out a new morph. Yeah, Jake chided. Instead of being home doing math homework, you get to turn into a wolf. Are you going to tell me you'd rather be doing equations? Let's see, Marco considered. Becoming a wolf and going off to find aliens. Maybe I should ask the school counselor what she thinks. It's such a common problem. I'm sure she'd have some good advice. Since it wasn't a good idea for us all to travel to the mountains as birds, the others needed a morph that could travel far and fast through woods. And there were the two injured wolves in Cassie's barn. Jake stopped, looked around, and announced, "This is good." We were a few hundred yards into the woods. I came to rest on a low branch of a huge oak tree. The hawk and me took note of a squirrel a few branches up. He started chittering and shrieking his little squirrel warning, "Danger! Danger! Hawk! Hawk!" I gave him a look. He watched. God damn it. He twitched, stuck the acorn he was holding into his cheek, and took off at full speed. What I don't get is why I have to be a girl wolf, Marco grumbled. We had one male and one female, Cassie explained for the 10th time. If two of us morphed into the male, we'd have two males. Two male wolves might decide they had to fight for dominance. I could control it, Marco said. Marco, you and Jake already fight for dominance, and you're just ordinary guys. Rachel pointed out. She's right, Cassie said sadly. I'm afraid your primitive male behavior might slow us down. Hey, when I morphed into a gorilla, I handled that gorilla brain okay, didn't I? Marco demanded. Sure, Marco, Rachel said. She batted her eyes. But that was different. You and the gorilla were already so much alike. Cassie and Rachel gave each other discreet high fives. Hugely funny, Marco said. We flipped a coin, fair and square, Jake said. I got to be the male. You're one of the females. Get over it. Let me see that coin again, Marco said suspiciously. Jake just smiled. Let's just do this. Cassie, you want to go first to see what it's like? We had learned from hard experience that morphing can be extremely disturbing. Jake had morphed into a lizard and been almost overpowered by the animal's fearful brain. The same had happened to Rachel when she'd morphed the shrew. She still had nightmares about the shrew experience, its fear and, worse, its hunger for bugs and rotting flesh. On the other hand, Jake had morphed into a flea, and according to him, it was kind of a big nothing, like being trapped inside a very old, very bad video game where you could barely see anything. The flea brain had been too simple to make trouble. Okay, I'll let you know. Cassie closed her eyes and concentrated. Then she opened them again. Wait, let me get down to my morph suit first. I don't want to get tangled up in my clothes. She removed everything but a leotard, kicked off her shoes, and stood barefoot on the pine needles. The first change was her hair. It went from very short black to shaggy silver in just a few seconds. It traveled down from her head, down her neck, over her shoulders, around her neck. Long, shaggy fur. Then her nose bulged out. I shuddered. You never really get used to seeing people morph. It is something straight out of a nightmare, even though Cassie seems to have some kind of talent for it. She's never quite as gross as the others. I guess it's because she's so close to so many animals. Maybe she just has a special feel for them. Still, as the wolf snout began to push out from her face, it was not a pleasant sight. Her ears grew furry and pointed. Then they slid straight up the side of her head till they almost touched on top. Her eyes went from brown-black to golden-brown. All over her body, the fur replaced the bright pinks and greens of her leotard. A tail suddenly shot out from behind. I could hear the grinding of her bones as they rearranged. Her upper arms shortened. Her lower arms grew longer. Fingers shriveled and disappeared, leaving behind only stubby black nails. There was a sickening crunch as her knees changed direction. Her legs shrank and thinned and grew fur. Suddenly, she fell forward, no longer able to stand erect. It had taken about 2 minutes. Cassie was now a wolf. How is it? Jake asked. Cassie jerked suddenly at the sound of his voice and spun around to face him. She bared her teeth and snarled a warning that would have made a taxon back up. She had very impressive teeth. Let's all stand really still, Jake said. Good idea, Marco agreed. Really, really still, because those are really, really big teeth. Everyone stood motionless. They had all been through similar experiences. We knew what was happening. Inside the wolf's head, Cassie was fighting to gain control of the wolf's wild instincts. Sorry, she thought, spoke at last. I have it now. Are you sure? Rachel asked warily. Yes, it's fine. I'm fine. In fact, it's really kind of wonderful. The sense of hearing. Wow. And my nose. Whoa, that's incredible. I've never morphed an animal with such a strong sense of smell. Then I'm extra glad I put on deodorant. Marco joked. Who had bacon for breakfast? Cassie turned her wolf head this way and that. Rachel? Bacon? I thought you were going to go vegetarian. Marco laughed at the guilty look on Rachel's face. Ooh, busted by Cassie the Wonder Nose. Let's get busy, Jake said. The 2-hour clock is now running. Tick tock. One by one, they each stole a glance at me. I'm the handy reminder of what happens if you stay in a morph for too long. Poor Tobias. Sorry. Let's see, Jake. Okay, now I have. Sorry, whenever I finish a chapter here, I go to the next chapter, and for some fucking reason, I was like, let's go back to the chapter I just read. If you think that's really, stupid, last time I recorded one of Jash reads, I was scared going, where the fuck is my Eevee hat while I was wearing the Eevee hat? Yet I still am considered an adult. So anyways, this chapter is... I read Cassie's transformation to a wolf a little sad because I figure that since Tobias can't morph, he sort of looks longingly at those who can, still morph. Like, oh, I wish I could do that. One thing I loved in this chapter was Marco. Marco complaining. That was really fucking fun to read just because I love it. Because he's the sort of guy who will go to hell and back for you, but he will be complaining every single step of the way. Like, he has a kind heart, but he's gonna be super fucking annoying, isn't he? So, yeah. Yeah, that's... And as you can tell, they do take this whole saving the world very seriously. They could have gone, as Tobias said, just in, bird of prey morphs and flown to the mountains, but that would be suspicious. So they do take it carefully. They do take caution. So what did you think about this chapter? Please comment below and we can start a conversation. And let's see. No, I was like, hey, these words I always say, I forgot them all of a sudden. So, you can comment below and let me know what you think about this chapter, but no major spoilers. I'm hoping that people that are new to the series run across this and are like, hey, I want to actually check this out. So, no major spoilers for that reason. But if you do want to talk spoilers with me, there's a link down below to my Ask box on Tumblr, and there I will talk spoilers. You know, because I've read this series a couple times, so yeah. And if you watch this video and are like, hey, I actually really want to get Animorphs, and I want to buy this book and read it for myself, there's a link down in the description if you're watching this on the YouTubes, and if you're watching this on my bloggity blog, there's a ad below the video, and you can get your copy of Animorphs 3 The Encounter there. And with me tonight are... God damn it, sorry, I forgot your name, Dragon. Damn. Can't remember her name at the moment. Sorry. But that there that she's holding is Cheetos. He was a Valentine's Day gift. He is super, super soft. And me and Rev Resner decided on the name Cheetos because, you know, the coloring sort of looks like Cheetos. And over there is a pink bear that I haven't named yet, and Mini Eevee. We have different sized plushies of Eevees. So yeah, they get their own little unique names, except the first Eevee, usually just called Eevee. And if the fact that I have plushies has amused you, please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. This YouTube channel. Because I need attention, that's why I blog. And, let's see, even though I'm in between jobs at the moment, the weeks are where it gets actually fucking busy for me, because that's when I have to deal with real life stuff. You know, it's not just online, it's like if things are happening medically and all the joys of really stressing real life, because Monday through Fridays are the business days. So I look forward to the weekend. Yeah, and I hope you all had a happy Easter and a good April Fool's Day. I didn't really do much myself. Dad prepared a special dinner, and I drank a couple glasses of wine, and I usually just drink one, but I got to like maybe 4 or 5. So but I was, you know, consuming food at the same time, so yeah, when you drink, you need to eat also. You can't just drink without food. And so for now, we've come to the part of the video where I will just barely sip sake tonight because I've already had enough alcohol. And, you know, I sip a little sake and then you can join in, you know, find your favorite alcohol or liquor or whatever's lying around. And if you don't drink alcohol for whatever reason, you know, I'm drinking water here, so, you know, drink water, milk, orange juice, something healthy, and you can join in. I'm going to do again for everyone's health, especially Rev Resner, who should have gone to the clinic a few days ago because the pain that had been paining him a few days ago has come back. And so, of course, either I'm not worrying about your health or I think you're dying. There is really no in between with me. like hardly any in between there. It's usually one or the other. So I'm freaked out about Rev Reznor, even though nothing will probably happen and things will be resolved. You should see how well I'm taking that there. No, he probably is going to be well. And yeah, and hopefully on Wednesday when I go to my ENT visit, not ENT visit, when I go to the primary care physician to see my ultrasound, gallbladder ultrasound. Figure I should clarify gallbladder ultrasound, or else people might think I'm pregnant. So, get that out of the way. So hopefully, yeah, I see no way out, but some maybe minor surgery. Maybe I just hope things don't get too complicated. And yeah. And yeah, let's see. And also Westworld season 2 still, you know, hoping for the best for that. Cuz yeah, and hopefully yeah, the one of my friends is getting married, so hopefully that goes well. I sort of iffy about her husband, you know, future husband, but hopefully my fears are all unfounded. And I think that's really all for tonight. So, cheers. As I said, barely going to sip. I think just like if it like touched my tongue and that was it. It's just like, usually I just drink maybe a glass of wine if he offers it, but this time it was like 4 or 5. You know, it's Easter. It was something. I'm actually not Christian, so it's like, hey, good food, nice wine. Not going to complain. So, next, Jash reads will be of Animorphs 3 The Encounter, and it should happen Wednesday around 2 a.m. As you can tell, I usually started a little late. Tonight it was a few minutes delay just because my dad was, instead of using the bathroom attached to his his bedroom, he comes over here. I just worried he'd, you know, stop by and check in. I need that. So next, Jash reads will be of Animorphs number 3 The Encounter Wednesday 2 a.m. sort of around that time. So that should happen. Sorry. Yeah, it should happen. I'm trying to make sure the schedule matches up. And if there's a delay or it gets canceled or it gets moved to another day, I will make that announcement on my Twitter at Jashikins. So, you know, check there if, you know, when he changes his schedule. But if there aren't any changes of schedule, the next stream will be of Animorphs number 3 The Encounter Wednesday 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just fucking realized that I should say what time zone because there's more than my time zone that exists in this world, strangely enough. And until next video, goodbye.